All right, hey everybody. So welcome to another It Ends With Us movie topic video. So for today's topic video, I want to kind of shift gears away from the positives. I mean, even though I do have like a lot of positives about this film, because I'm sure that based on my two reviews, like I'm sure that some of you are head scratching and wondering, hey Charles, why can you not give this an A plus? Like it really does sound like you're really, really high on this film. It sounds like you're in love with this film. Like, why are you not going, that much higher? Like, why aren't you, going the distance and going, with an A plus? And so I wanted to make this topic video to kind of talk about, my major issue with this because for, 99.9% of this film, it is an A plus. It is an A plus. And if it did just this one little thing, if it did just this one little thing in the end credits, like right when the end credits first started, this would have been an A plus. But because they did this so deep into the end credits, when nobody, where nobody would have actually seen this, because the vast majority of people are going to be out the door, once the end credits start, because this is not a Marvel film, so people aren't thinking, to stay through the end credits. And that is the fact that, there are no resources, for victims of domestic violence, for victims, of sexual assault, in the beginning of the end credits. Now, let me explain why I take a little bit of an issue with that. Is because every single time that a television show, does a special episode or does an episode that deals with, domestic violence, that deals with drug addiction, that deals with, intimate partner violence, that deals with, sexual assault, right before the end credits start, they literally do the PSA. They literally do the, if you or anyone who has, been, a victim of sexual assault, domestic or whatever the issue was, hey, here's a number that you can call. Here's a website that you can go to. You're not alone. Our volunteers are standing by. It's completely anonymous. You don't have to, give your name. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just, chat, you can talk, we're ready to listen, when you're ready to call. And I've seen countless TV shows do that. And it's like if a TV show knows to do that, if a TV show knows to do that before the official end credits actually start, because they know that people will, most likely, be flipping away, like once the show is over, then a major motion picture that made, $50 million this weekend, should be able to do the exact same thing. And I understand that not every country is going to have the exact same resources. Not every single country is going to have the exact same numbers. Well, for each country, it would be different. Like, just do something different for each country. Like, oh, for here in the US, like, oh, here's a whole bunch of stuff, here's a whole bunch of websites you can go to. Here's a whole bunch of, organizations, here's a whole bunch of numbers. Here's a whole bunch, phone numbers. um and for overseas, hey, if overseas does not have the same resources, hey, here's some resources that that you guys do have. And they could have done that. They could have done that right before the end credits actually started, like right before it actually said directed by Justin Baldoni. They could have put up like a whole bunch of resources, but they didn't do that. They did it at a time when it's like, okay, well, the vast majority of the audience is going to be out the door. Nobody's going to see this. Like the vast majority are not going to, like 99.9% are not even going to see this. Like it's a waste to put that, like, much deeper into the end credits, because it's like, well, most people would have already turned off the film by now. Most people would have already been out the door by now, so not a lot of people are going to actually see this. The people who might actually need this aren't going to actually see these numbers, or going to see these websites, or see these organizations. So, for me, it was like, no, y'all should have done it like right before it said directed by Justin Baldoni. You should have put up a whole bunch of resources. And I know that some people might consider that a stupid, issue to have, but no, I think it's a very important issue to have, because I do think that this is a very important film. In a lot of ways, this film is being pitched as a very important film, bringing, shining a light on these difficult subject matters. And so it was like, well, okay, if you want to shine a light on these difficult subject matters, that's great. You could, put up the resources like right there before it says directed by Justin Baldoni. Like right before the official end credits actually start. You could have, put up some stuff. Or if you want to go the distance, actually have Justin Baldoni, sitting there. Actually have, Blake Lively sitting there and, listing off the resources, listing off the numbers, offering, hey, you're not alone, know that it's not your fault, whatever PSA they want to do. You could have had, Justin Baldoni sitting there. You could have had Blake Lively sitting there. You could have had, Brandon Skelnar, Amy Morton, the actors sitting there. I know that I know that some people might say like, oh, you're doing too much there, but it's like, no, you're not, because you are pitching this as like a very important film. I will be talking about the marketing in another topic video, because there is some stuff in the marketing that is really starting to drive me up a wall, especially in terms of how they're pitching this movie, or how certain people are pitching this movie. And I was also talking to somebody else, and I do think that this is, I don't think that any film is actually going to be ever willing to do this, but given the fact that so many people are saying that they are surprised by the domestic violence in this film, that they did not realize that this is a domestic violence movie, that this is a film that includes, scenes of sexual assault. I know that nobody is ever going to do this, but I do agree that there should have been a little bit of a trigger warning, right before the film started. Because again, I understand that people will say, oh, the rating is the trigger warning. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because not a lot of people are actually looking at the rating descriptions. They're looking at the rating itself. So all they're seeing is PG-13. So if the trailer, or I should say that the trailers did show the domestic violence, by the way. But, I've seen some of the, social media ads. I've seen, the stuff that, the It Ends With Us, team is posting on their social media accounts, like with their various, promos, with their various, social media, like TV spots. Um, and that is pretty much hiding the fact that this is, about domestic violence. And I think that that's a little bit shady. That is a little bit shady, because this can be very triggering. And I was actually sitting by somebody who was clearly getting triggered during one of my screenings. Like, she actually physically started to shake during one of the scenes. Like, she actually was physically shaking during one of the scenes. And I was actually a little bit worried for her in that moment. But yeah, no, I actually noticed that like she was physically starting to shake during one of the scenes. And so yeah, so I will be making a topic video at a later date talking about the marketing and how I think they have dropped the ball in so many ways. But yeah, no, if you want to know why I have not given this thing an A+, it's because again, the resources are so deep into the end credits that nobody's going to see it. That the vast majority are not going to see it. And I feel like they should have done it right before, it said directed by Justin Baldoni. So jump down to the comment section below. Let me know what you think about all of this. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. As always, remember, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's go through all the stuff you'll be able to find on this channel right now. So I'll be bringing you guys constant updates on the After Film series, It Ends With Us, Hush Hush, The Mister, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Sunrise on the Reaping, Crave, and a whole bunch of other book-to-movie adaptations as we go through the life of this channel. You guys are going to be so updated that you'll be begging me to stop the updates. Because I was terminated for so long, there's still some stuff from After We Collided that I do have to catch up on, including topic videos, and those are coming sooner rather than later. As always, remember, this channel would not be able to go to the heights that it has without you guys, and so for that, I'm eternally grateful. You know, I know, there are plenty of fans out there, old and new, who have no idea, absolutely no idea that this channel exists or that it's even back from termination in the first place. So please keep sharing the channel. Please keep spreading the word of Charles's Movie Channel, because this will easily be one of the best, if not the best, book-to-movie adaptation channels that you'll find right here on YouTube, or dare I say anywhere. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing. My name is Charles. Welcome to the Book-to-Movie Adaptation Channel. I'll see you later, book-to-movie fans. Take care, y'all. Love you.